It's the Raw after WrestleMania. You know what that means for us, guys. It is Christmas Day for wrestling fans everywhere. It's the surprise call-ups. It is the unexpected returns. We got it all on this Raw. So let's have a look at Raw after Mania. So we kicked off the show in possibly the worst possible way for WWE. We had Stephanie McMahon come out, and it was great because you just saw her limping in with her very damaged arm from Ronda Rousey from the night before, and it was brilliant just to see her go, oh, it was thanks to me, we had a good match, and it was the match of the night. And I was just like, please someone come out and attack her. And my wish came true. Ronda Rousey came out and they hugged, and it was like, oh, they're friends now. They had that big ride. And no, Ronda Rousey pretty much tried to snap Stephanie's arm. And it was a great way to start the show. The fans really wanted to see Stephanie get injured again because obviously she's a heel. And let's be honest, this is a great way to get Ronda Rousey even more over. And it shows she's quite vicious when she needs to be. So, for me, good start to the show. Ronda Rousey breaking someone's arm. Our first match of the night was actually a women's tag team match where we had Alexa Bliss and her BFF, Mickie James, taking on the new Raw Women's Champion, Nia Jax. And it was a great way to do this. So you had everyone chanting for Nia Jax, saying you deserve it. Fantastic. Then you had Alexa Bliss and Mickie James come out and literally say, you're the biggest bully here, blah blah blah, trying to make it look like Nia Jax is the heel. Good work, Alexa Bliss, by the way. And saying no one wants to work with you because you are a bully. That caused Nia to call out her tag team partner, a debut from NXT, Ember Moon. And I mean, that was a great way. It was a good match as well. It really showcased what Ember Moon can do. And the crowd was so into Nia Jax being champion now. It was entertaining as hell. Alexa Bliss and Mickie James just literally got run over. But tonight is about showing off the new talent and the new champions. And they did it absolutely brilliant. So no complaints. First match, Nia Jax and Ember Moon getting a win. Brilliant. Soon after that, we got another debut from NXT. We had No Way Jose, one of my favourite characters from NXT, get called up, and I was so shocked and happy at the same time. And it was just like, what? So it was a great way to do it. He got called up, he took on a local jobber, which is great because, let's be honest, we know No Way Jose is going to be a mid-carder. But I was just excited, and it's a good fiesta kind of style. The crowd, obviously, the Raw after Mania crowd is always crazy, and they were absolutely eating it up. Cannot blame them. No Way got the win, obviously, and it's great. It's a great introduction to No Way Jose. Moves us quickly on to our next match of the night, and this was a tag team match. Now, this was a qualifying match because earlier on in the night, Braun and his tag team partner Nicholas unfortunately had to relinquish the belts, and this was because Nicholas has 4th grade still. But once he's finished with that, he's coming back for those damn titles. So that caused Kurt Angle to set up a tournament base where tag teams from Raw will battle it out to fight at the greatest Battle Royale in Saudi Arabia. To take on, I think it's Cesaro and Sheamus in the finals. So this was the first stage match where we had Karl Anderson and Luke Gallows taking on the Revival. The Revival won. It was a bit of a shame. I really want to see Anderson and Gallows do better, but I think I've got a feeling they're going to get moved to SmackDown. So this was kind of like, yeah, don't push them into a tournament which you know they won't be around for. So I'm not too fussed with that. And the match itself was good. It was alright, but the crowd wasn't as into it, and I think it was because, you know, it's been really difficult for the Revival of late. Move us on to probably one of the most upsetting stages of the show. It started off with Sasha Banks and Mandy Rose having a match. That's not the upsetting bit, obviously, but cut it short. Sasha Banks got hit by accident by Bayley. Then Mandy Rose used that to get a victory over Sasha Banks. And then afterwards, after the match, the big news was Paige had to retire from in-ring, activities. This is all caused because of a neck injury. She wanted to thank the WWE Universe. It was a great send-off. The crowd really, I think, made that retirement speech as special as it could be. Her saying goodbye it's difficult. She's only been wrestling at WWE for 4 years, and it's such a sad that someone so young in their career has to retire because of neck injuries. But obviously there was a big thank you Paige chant on Twitter as well. Thank you Paige, and I am 100% agree. Thank you Paige, you were one of the most entertaining female superstars on the roster, and I absolutely enjoyed everything. I got to see you performing. Her rivalry with AJ Lee is probably one of my favourite rivalries. Her teaming up with Becky Lynch and Charlotte, again, a really good atmosphere with that. So, thank you Paige, and good luck in the future. Now on to something less depressing than that. We had Elias pull on a concert. Yes, I know, I said Elias is pulling on a concert, and that's not depressing enough, but it's entertaining. Elias, the crowd were just so behind Elias, and I think it really annoyed him, which was even better. But you could see him just cracking up, and it was just absolutely brilliant. He was literally saying, "I am," and the crowd started clapping along to the song, and he goes, "Even though you're clapping, I still want to punch you in the face." And I was like, yes, Elias. This caused a surprise return. Bobby Lashley, yes, has returned to WWE, and he just got over in like literally 2 seconds by holding Elias for which looked like forever and one-handed, and just bringing him down to the ground and just destroying him. It was awesome. Good to see Bobby back in WWE. I know he's had a lot of time in TNA, but I really think now that he's back and he's much a more well-developed character and learned a lot more. He's a lot more well-rounded in his wrestling skills as well. I cannot wait to see what he's able to do in the WWE now. Next up was another tag team match, and this was caused because Heath Slater and Rhino were absolutely angry being left out of the tag team tournament for the Raw Tag Team Championships. So they did an open challenge to any tag team in the back, and of course it had to be the Authors of Pain, one of the most over tag teams in NXT. And they literally destroyed Heath Slater. I don't even think Rhino got in the ring. The Authors of Pain just legitimately just destroyed him in no time. But after the match, their manager, Paul Ellering, they told him not to follow. They literally pushed him back and walked off without him. And that was like, whoa, this is a big step. Authors of Pain without a manager will be absolutely weird, and I just can't wait to see how their off the chain kind of atmosphere gonna be now that they're being given full reins now. Be exciting. I'm really excited now to see Authors of Pain on the main roster. I think they could be Raw champions in no time, very short time. It was a promo by Roman Reigns, and let's be honest, Roman Reigns, no matter what he does, he could save the planet with a Superman punch from an asteroid and we'd still boo him. They're like, "Ah, damn you, Roman, we were chanting for the asteroid which was going to destroy the world. Why did you have to save us? Boo!" We would still do it. Let's be honest, we would. And he was so angry. He was angry that Brock Lesnar got a new contract in no time. He was angry that he was put in another title match against Brock without him even being asked or told, and it was going to be in a steel cage match, and that's going to take part in the Great Royal Rumble, which is going to take part in Saudi Arabia. But he did say, "If you keep putting me in matches against Brock Lesnar, I'm going to finally become Universal Champion." To be honest, again, I'm one of those guys who's rooting for Roman. I thought it's about time he actually held the title. But I'm not a big fan of Brock Lesnar, so it's not a surprise. That caused probably my favourite superstar on Raw to return. It was the return of Samoa Joe. It was absolutely awesome, and he just told it as it is. You lost because you suck. You lost because you keep making excuses for yourself, and at Backlash, I'm going to beat you up. And I thought that was great. So Brock Lesnar is going to beat him up at the Great Royal Rumble, and then at Backlash, Samoa Joe is going to beat up Roman Reigns. To be honest, it was a great segment. It was a great way to get Joe back in the, in the light again after his injury, and the crowd was so behind Samoa Joe. It was unbloody believable. I absolutely loved every second of it, and it's awesome to have Samoa Joe back from injury. Next up, we had the next round of the tag team tournament, and it was Titus Worldwide taking on Woken, Matt Hardy, and his new partner, Bray Wyatt. And it was, to be honest, it wasn't a great match. I'm not going to say it was a good match, but it was awesome to see these two work together. I said this after the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. I said these two need to be a tag team, and now that we've seen them working as a tag team, I'm actually damn excited. Bray and Matt won. They look awesome. It's like a yin and yang kind of thing. Bray's still wearing very dark, scary colours, but he's acting more. He's very, very silent, and he doesn't speak as much. And he's very, very smiling, and it's weird. And Matt is obviously woken, and it's like a yin yang kind of thing. And I really want to see what they're going to take this, because it could be really interesting. But yeah, they won. They're around to take on the Revival. If they beat the Revival next week, they will be taking on Cesaro and Sheamus for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Our next match of the night was a contract match for a contract at Raw. This was between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This all started backstage when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn begged Kurt Angle for a contract at Raw. Kurt said, "Look, I have no space in my tag team division, but I hear TNA's hiring," and that was the biggest pop. Everyone, I was like, that's the best line I've heard Raw do in such a long time. Shots fired, y'all. But he said, "I've got one contract, singles contract available, but you two will have to fight out." Sami and Kevin agreed. They weren't too happy about it. And they had an absolutely stellar match. Again, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have stellar matches, it's no surprise. And the fans actually enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed seeing these two fight each other. And it was good to see him back on Raw, to be honest. I think Kevin fits better with Raw, and I always thought Sami fitted better on SmackDown. But yeah, it was a stellar match, but unfortunately neither man was able to win because they both couldn't get back on their feet on time, and they both lost the contracts. And a bit of shame. Can't wait to see how this story continues. Really excited, but it's a good build up to see how Kevin and Sami get jobs back in the WWE. And our final match of the night was a 6-man tag team match, and this was all started because of early on when Seth Rollins came out to celebrate his win at Mania. That caused Finn Bálor to come out to congrats him and say, look, it was a triple threat match, and I didn't get pinned. The Miz got pinned, so technically I didn't get beaten. And he says, look, I want to be the first guy to challenge you for that title. The Miz comes out and goes, hold on. I have it back in my contract to say that I get a rematch, so I'm gonna use that. And everyone's like, and Seth was like, I'm glad you brought this up. Let's do it tonight. And the Miz was like, no, Backlash. And that was awesome. The Miztourage was with the Miz, and this caused Jeff Hardy to come out because it looked like it was about to have a fight. And that's where it got official, obviously. Kurt Angle announced that it's going to be the main event. And it's cool. I really did enjoy this match. One, because we had Jeff Hardy returning. Awesome. Two, we had Finn Bálor and Seth Rollins working together again, which I think they work really well together. And again, we got to see the Miz absolutely perform again. For me, he's one of the, like, I say this to people all the time, if the Miz is not the MVP in matches, it shocks me. Because people go, well, Seth and Finn did all the really awesome moves. I'm like, yeah, but who took those moves? Who's the one who sold? Because let's be honest, it's for certain wrestlers, it's easy to pull those moves off, but selling those moves and making it look legitimately like you're injured from them, The Miz does that. He sells great, he performs great, and yeah, he's not a high flyer, but the moves he can pull off, he makes them look good. And the match itself was great. Obviously, the babyfaces won, and we had a good celebration with Jeff Hardy and Finn and Seth using their finishes on both Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas after the match ended. So for me, it was a good way to end the show. And there you go, guys. That's the Raw after Mania. And what did I think? I thought it was probably the best Raw after Mania we've had in some time. It was really exciting. Great returns from Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy. An absolutely shocking return when Bobby Lashley came through. You had call-ups for Amber Moon, Authors of Pain and No Way Jose. Just absolutely shocking and brilliant at the same time. And then it was just madness, and the crowd was brilliant, and they always are. So what was your best moment, guys? Leave it in the comments below. Obviously, there is the side points where we have to say goodbye to Paige, but seriously, guys, I want to hear what you thought about the show. You can follow me on Twitter at Boise88, and you can follow the channel itself at Smack Talk YouTube. That's Smack Talk YouTube, and I'll see you guys on the next Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.